Yeah. Okay. The weirdness factor at its best. Looks like I'm back on the A list. Mercedes sent me a 2024 AMG GLE 53 SUV. Let's take a closer look here. Base price $86,750. Wow, $1,750 for the white metallic paint. Woo! $70.50 for carbon fiber trim. Let's see what else. Winter package. Yeah, that's what I want in the summertime. It's 110 degrees outside. And 21-inch AMG 5-spoke wheels, $1,300. Well, let's get to the bottom line. There we go. 95 big ones. Because it's an AMG, it means it's got a souped-up engine, 3-liter 6-cylinder turbo, 429 horsepower, 413 pound-feet of torque. And let's see where it's made. Alabama, Buy American. 18 MPG in the city, 23 on the highway. We'll be taking this out in the real world to see if that's true. We're going to rack up a lot of miles on this baby. By the way, if you like Mercedes electric cars, you might want to subscribe for my channel, because in a couple of weeks I got a 2023 AMG EQE electric car coming. And wow, look at the price tag on this baby. Lots of dough. So stay tuned, we'll have a video on this in a couple of weeks. We also did a video on the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQE electric vehicle. We'll have a link for the video at the end of this video. And we also did a video on the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQS 450 HEV. We'll have a link for that video at the end of this video as well. So you get 3 Mercedes videos for the price of 1 free. Alright, here it is in person. Expensive paint job and all. Pretty nice looking rig. And there's several things we do when we get a vehicle. Number one, we want to look at the brand of tires they're delivering, because a lot of car makers are putting cheap off-brand tires on, which I find unacceptable. And I see these are Continentals. That's a good brand, so we're good to go there. And the second thing we want to do is check and see if there's a spare tire. There usually isn't, and my golly, there certainly is. An inflatable, but a giant 21-inch tire and wheel like we're seeing on the outside probably wouldn't fit inside a vehicle, so better than not having a spare at all. Lots of room under here for other storage too. And like we do in all of our videos, we take the headlights out in the dark and do some night driving. We already did a video with this vehicle, night driving, on YouTube. If you didn't see it, we'll have it on part 3 of this video. We already talked about the engine, the first part of the video, so let's just go into the cabin. And the first thing I want to know, is this really suitable for off-roading? Most SUVs that are crossovers are not. I'm told this one is, so let's find out. Well, we got a nice 12-inch screen here, and we have an off-road function, so let's press it and see what happens. And here we have all kinds of off-road indicators over here telling what the driveline is doing. This vehicle is all-wheel drive, in case I didn't mention that before. And in the middle, the approach and departure angle, or the side angle. I don't know, we'll find out later. We take it off-road, and this tells you what the suspension is doing, and this tells you the elevation, 2,520 feet. In here, a control that raises or lowers the suspension. Raising the suspension off-road comes in handy so you don't hit rocks. I would say this is capable of going in the dirt. Let's press this and see what happens. There's an indicator on the gauge cluster telling you what the suspension is doing. I don't know how much it raised. I'll have to find a spec sheet, but it does work. And if you want to know how much horsepower or torque the engine is putting out, we have that engine data here on the gauge cluster, among other things. And that's operated here with your thumb. If you don't know that, you'll never figure it out. And if you want to choose gears manually, you have pedal shifters on the steering wheel where they belong. on the steering column like the Italians do, which is kind of stupid. On the steering wheel, you can always reach them with your fingertips, straight line, mild curves, wild curves, parking lots, whatever. Where on the steering column back here, you can only reach them going in a straight line, which is kind of stupid. Yeah, I know Ferrari puts them on the steering column. That's stupid as well. They belong on the steering wheel. Thank you, Mercedes, for getting it right. And we have the dynamic switch that gives you slippery mode, individual, comfort, sport, sport plus. And here's what the rear view camera looks like when you put the transmission in reverse. Nice clarity. And let's see what other choices we have. Ah, the old 360-degree gimmick. Oh, that's pretty cool. See the tire repair shop that's way down the road. Nice system. Getting something for our money. And the climate controls were easy to use, just a row of buttons. And we get a nice large glove box. Lots of room in there. And we have something called attention assist, where the camera spies on you and watches your face and doesn't like the way you're driving. It gives you all kinds of stupid warnings. I turn that off. Let's see what else I can turn off. Alright, turn off the daytime running lights. Check. Usually controls on Mercedes-Benz vehicles are rather complicated. It takes a long time to learn everything, but the ones in this vehicle are reasonably simple. Only took me around 20 minutes to figure everything out. No complaints from me. One thing I like about this particular vehicle, it's really built like a tank. Very sturdy. A big change from the Japanese beer cans we get. Look at the size of those disc brakes. Wow. Stopping power galore. You can't see the motor because of all the plastic covers on there, but a lot of plumbing under there. Glad I'm not working on it. Alright, enough talk. Part 1 show and tell is over. Let's go out and do some driving. By the way, this vehicle's been in the fleet for 1,361 miles, driven by other people, averaging just under 20 mpg. We're doing some fuel economy tests ourselves, especially freeway driving, so don't go away. This power steering is very nice, quick, responsive, decent feel, good feedback. A step better than other Mercedes-Benz I've driven. No complaints here. The brake pedal feel is nice and firm the way I like it. And the turning radius is very tight, making it easy to fit into narrow parking spaces. I was going to take this SUV off-road tomorrow, but I found out how much these big tires cost to replace if I get a flat, so I figured, no, not a good idea. Instead, let's take this out in the open country and take some corners. And this Turbo 6 is quick. Lots of guts. Right now I have the vehicle in comfort mode. And it's taking these corners like a champ. Let's try the Sport Plus mode. Well, let's see. In the Sport Plus mode, the steering feels a bit heavier. The suspension seems a little bit firmer. You got a bunch of popping noises coming out of the exhaust. This is a very, very nice vehicle. The exhaust is louder too. And the transmission wants to keep the revs up, like 4,000 to 5,000 RPM. I think I'll burn up all my gas if I leave it in Sport Plus. I better put it down to Sport. Yes, I think the standard Sport mode's more than adequate. Less radical and just as sporty to drive for the most part. These giant disc brakes are fantastic, no fade at all. I can say without any reservations, this is definitely one of the nicest Benzes I've ever driven. And that makes the extra high price tag a lot easier to swallow. At least we're getting some money's worth here. I'm told they have bears out tonight. They've seen in the neighborhood. I hope I don't hit one. Well, I got good brakes. Maybe I'll stop in time. It looks like I drove up here for nothing. Everything's closed. That's okay. We need to take a highway trip anyway. Get some highway fuel economy numbers, so we'll do that next. Elevation, 7,986 feet. We're really up here. This is such an easy car to drive. Not only great performance, but great comfort. Very easy to drive. I could do this all night. Except I'm running out of gas. We're going to reset the Mercedes mileage computer to 0 and take a highway trip. See what type of fuel economy we can get. This is a pretty comfortable vehicle to drive on the highway. The wind noise is very low. The overall noise is very low. The steering's quick, but not quick enough to have you wander off another lane if you're not paying attention. In comfort mode, there's a bit of stiffness with these big wheels and tires, but it's reasonably comfortable. And these seats are very nice once you find a right position. Very firm, great for long trips. I think one of the reasons this vehicle is quite at highway speeds is the solid body construction. This thing's really built like a tank. Since this highway trip's going to be about 150 miles, I guess I might as well program these massaging seats and make myself comfortable. And I'm going to listen to this nice stereo system too, but I can't demonstrate that because YouTube will get mad at me for copyright violations. I already had my... Uh-oh, what's that? Attention assist. Doesn't like the way I'm driving. Too bad. We're coming near the end of our trip, and for the record, I was getting 24 miles to the gallon on level ground at 75 miles per hour, but we did some climbing in elevation and a lot of passing, so our MPG dropped just a wee bit. And there we go, from 24 to 22 MPG, but there was some mild city driving involved with that, which brought our average speed down to 68 and 75. Overall, not a bad number. So what do I think about this Benz after we get driving? Well, the price is kind of crazy, but if you can afford it, you'll be pleased. Definitely one of the nicest Mercedes-Benz I've ever driven. Total thumbs up for me. And if you didn't see the night drive headlight test video we did on this, you can see it now, part 3 of the video. Alright, it's dark enough. Let's take a look at these lights. I think we have 2 sets of lights in each housing. And here are the taillights. Kind of dinky. Now let's continue on. And the emergency lights are a separate color and a separate housing. That's good. Have a light on the outside mirrors. They're expensive to replace, don't break them. And a bit on the thin side, hard to see with the headlights on. And with the headlights off, a lot easier to see. Well, headlights almost always off. Alright, I finally got them turned off. There we go. Some Mercedes-Benzes have a mind of their own. All that automatic gadgetry. And you know, they're small. They do seem to reach out quite a ways. And get a good reflection down, way down yonder. Let's get inside, take a look, and the AMG emblem lights up to remind you what you're driving. Got a nice camera system. We've done this in our daytime video, but looks better at night. And the off-road gauges, massaging seats, you get the idea. A classic gauge cluster. And we have a light show that surrounds the cabin, and interesting, if you turn the climate control on heat, everything turns red, and if you turn it down air conditioning, everything turns blue. Getting something for our money here. Most of the other controls don't light up very much. Rather dim. Except on the door. Let's check out the headlights. Very strong illumination. High enough, but this is a high vehicle. We raise the suspension or lower it. We can raise and lower the beams. Now it's a low beam, let's go to high beam. Definitely bright. We've taken this out in the sticks later on to see how it does in the countryside. Not to long distances. Low beam, high beam. I'm trying to figure out if these are active headlights that turn the same direction as the steering wheel. They seem to, but if they do, they're not doing it very wide. Let's try it again. Yeah, maybe not. I'll wait till I get this out on some corners, on some mountain roads, and then we'll be able to tell. So let's take these headlights out in the curved mountain roads and see how well they work. Plus, I want to see if these are actually active headlights that turn the same direction as the steering wheel. I couldn't tell in the parking lot, and we'll be able to tell in these corners. And here comes one now. Yeah, they do seem to be turning. So I guess they are active headlights. I can see around the corner. That's good. There's a lot of wildlife out in this time of year. I understand the bears are out. Some guy got eaten by a bear last week, and I don't want to hit one. Fortunately, we got good brakes on this baby, so it shouldn't be a problem. We're going to get on the freeway. Real soon. So we go into construction signs. Let's slide up the brights and get some reflection going on here. One laying on the road. Crunch. These high beams really reach out. Got a load of construction signs out this weekend, it appears. Lots. So, good thing we got headlights. This is definitely a nice highway cruiser. Very nice lights. More construction signs, good grief. These headlights are earning their keep tonight.